ready this time without being a dick?
I'm always ready, mate.
You're always a dick.
Hello and welcome to episode 96 of the Character Unlock podcast. I'm hosting this time around. I'm John. With me, as usual, is Mr. Brooker.
Hello, lads.
And that guy we always know and love, Lee.
Hello, everyone.
Lee is joining us again because once again he's probably got nothing else to do this afternoon. And I'm thinking he probably played a game with us at some point recently.
I did.
Cool.
Did you?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was last month.
Was it?
Yeah, but we've done an episode since then.
Yeah.
We have.
So
So-
you're just here for the sake of it. now.
I de facto invite you on mainly because I assume you want somebody else to talk to during lockdown, but also just because why the fuck not? The
I think we
worst
should just add Lee to the crew.
the worst you can do is email me back and go, no, I'm not coming on this week. Please stop fucking inviting me.
Oh, I'm happy to be on every time.
So I
Fill me
think
in.
we should formally invite Lee on to the crew as a whole. He
That
is
mean-
now part of
Tell me he's
Character
going to
Unlock.
start taking on hosting duties.
Yes, that's part of the responsibility,
do that.
and it means that we have a two-man show whenever someone decides to not bother going on,
There you
as long
go.
as we always have someone else.
Problem
So if
solved.
I've got nothing to talk about, Brooker and Lee can go for it. And if Brooks has got nothing, then you two, and if Lee's got nothing, then it's just us.
There you
The
go.
classic. Problem solved. But otherwise, a three-man group we are.
Yeah.
Cool.
Celebration. I'm going to have
Yeah.
some gin.
You guys took so long to get online today. I finished my coffee already.
I
No, I'm
mean,
sad.
I was kind of online the whole time, just putting that out there. It was Lee who took forever.
So I'm
I
back
was
to
eating.
I'm back to drinking my juice.
So we'll jump into the news that we don't have.
So we're going to talk about nothing.
Yeah, the news is pretty light, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
I mean,
the video game industry at the moment is very similar to the film industry, whereas the only news is, yeah, this shit's been delayed again because COVID.
yeah. So I got an email from Cineworld saying they're remaining closed for the entirety of this month, even though they said they were going to open up on like the 6th.
Yeah.
Because they realised, oh shit, there's no films. So there's
Yeah.
no point fucking opening.
Well, Cineworld and Odeon were both going to open in time for Tenet, and then Tenet got delayed, and then Mulan got delayed, and everything's been delayed. So there's absolutely no fucking point in opening a cinema when there's no new films. I think they were
No.
talking about putting on like a bunch of old classics or something.
Yeah.
see, I would like that. Well, just come out and bring some legacy films out for us to go and see, or, you know, back-to-back sets and stuff like that.
just,
you
you
know,
know,
that'd be
stuff
pretty
you've got
Basically
cool.
what the Prince Charles does all the time.
Yeah, the stuff you've got the rights to show, you know, and just put them on. I would happily, you know, you stick, I don't know, the Batman trilogy on or something. I'd go down to Cineworld and watch Batman for a couple of hours. Why the fuck not?
Just so many things I would have loved to have seen in the cinema as a kid, like Aliens, Terminator 2, all those sort of things that I have only ever watched on a normal TV screen. I'd love to see them on the big screen.
I
Yeah,
do.
So I
see-
absolutely adored the 2 times that I watched the 2 Tarantino films that I went to the cinema to watch.
Yeah.
That was amazing. But
See, that's why I have a Prince Charles membership, because they show those films quite regularly. So I've seen all the films that I love and all the films that I loved as a kid that I never would have seen. I go and see at the Prince Charles. Or even like last year, they done a reissue of Gremlins, didn't they? At Cineworld. I saw
Yes.
I saw fucking Gremlins in a cinema. That film's almost as old as me. It was great.
Man, that little fucker didn't like water, did he?
No, he did not. We saw it in 4DX as well. It was awesome. It's the
what
best.
was the film that got a re-release not that long ago? The Matrix got that 4K re-release,
Yeah.
and then they put it in cinema screens that weren't 4K.
Yeah, pointless. I've got it on 4K on iTunes. I'll just watch it there. But to be fair, I saw all 3 Matrix movies in the cinema, so I'm not that worried about rushing to
Yeah,
cinema.
I
to
think
see
I
it.
did too.
Yeah, I'm not old enough to have seen The Matrix 1 in the cinema.
No, you're not.
So, I mean, news-wise, I guess Last
None.
of Us breaking PS4 sales limits. They had 4 million in the first 2 days.
Yeah, over 4 million copies in the first 3 days, which I think the last record was Spider-Man, which
Yep.
was 3.3 million or 3.4 million in 3 days.
Yeah.
Mm.
So So that's not a bad leap, that.
That's not, is it really? I mean, it was fully expected.
Yeah, well,
Although
what interests me
technically,
a
I
lot
suppose
there,
Spider-Man's a new IP, I guess,
yeah,
in a way.
what interests me, and only because I've been too lazy to go looking, I'd like to know what the week 2 drop-off looks like. Because again, films are the same. Like your massive week 1 numbers are always expected. Your week 2 numbers are always interested in showing. If everybody bought it week 1, and then word of mouth didn't make everybody else go out and buy it week 2, I want to know what the numbers look like.
Yeah, a lot of the word of mouth that I'm seeing is that it's not that good compared to, say, the first one's word of mouth. So word of mouth on The Last of Us 1 was that you need to go out and buy a PlayStation to play this game.
See, personally, I would say the same thing about The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing that when I do any kind of like anything that I've seen remotely Last of Us 2 on the internet that I've not immediately just glossed over because I don't want spoilers has been that the game isn't that good.
Yeah, see, I've glossed over everything as well, so I've tried to just not even, comprehend any of it that goes in. It just gets skipped.
So I muted pretty much everything The Last of Us a month ago, and was really lucky because there was a load of fucking leaks like 2 months ago, wasn't there? And I've not seen any of it. I still don't know what's in the leaks. I refuse to look. I don't want to go looking. I wanted to go into The Last of Us 2 as blind as possible. And I think this is why I'm enjoying it so much. Because I don't care what other people think about it. The first game is one of my all-time favourite games. It's one of the few games that is still a big fucking emotional gut punch, doesn't matter how many times I play it.
Oh, it's even fucking worse now I'm a parent. It's shocking.
It's just.
Oh, I cried like a fucking baby yesterday.
It's just
it was so ridiculous.
So brutal.
I think I've got emotional issues.
Yes, probably.
Well, I think I always have had, because we were talking about this on text the other day, weren't we? So I'd done the maths, and The Last of Us came out like 2 weeks before Nikita was born. Ironically, it came out 2 days after Nikita was due. So I don't think I actually played it until after Nikita was born, because obviously didn't want to start playing a game and suddenly be going into hospital. So I'm sitting there. I remember playing it the first time, utterly fucking newborn. You're not sleeping. There's no such thing as sleep. Playing this game, and then 40 minutes into it, the beginning of The Last of Us happens. I was not in a place for that at all, not even remotely. But here we are, nearly 7 years later, and it ain't changed. It's still brutal.
I mean, the last time I played it, I put the remastered in. I don't remember playing it. I probably just played the start bit to show somebody. The last time I even had it in the console was 2014, so that was 2 years before Arthur was born.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's definitely it has aged very well.
It has aged very well.
The upscaling on it looks brilliant. The HDR is brilliant.
Doesn't that HDR look gorgeous?
Yeah, the ability to alter your frame rate set and stuff has worked really well. So I've got mine on max resolution and locked 30 frames.
Yep.
Because I don't mind. I quite like 30 frames. I don't care. I know people love 60, but I'm quite happy at 30. My old man eyes of 30 is fine.
But it's a survival game. You don't need the high frame rate.
No.
And
that's why I've done it, and it looks fucking phenomenal, even considering it's a 10-year-old game.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It is, 7 years old.
7 years, yeah.
It looks
mental.
Absolutely gorgeous. And don't forget to play Left Behind when you get to the end.
Well, yeah, this is it, you see. So I'm having the issue now that I've got quite a few games to play on the list. The problem is they're all creepy-ass fucking zombie-esque or just creepy shit games. So I've got the Control DLC that came out, Foundation.
Yeah.
Came out last week. I've got that to play. I'm playing through The Last of Us Remastered, and then obviously Left Behind. I've got Last of Us Part 2 came this morning, so I've got that to play. I've got Days Gone, Castlevania. I could just do with something like nice and sort of funny. So I downloaded South Park: The Stick of Truth on the Switch.
Nice. I'll be honest, Days Gone isn't creepy or scary or anything.
Yeah, but it does give you that sort of jerky runaway feeling, doesn't it? And that's it's kind of zombie-esque.
It's still a zombie game, but it's not scary. It's not tense. It's an action game.
Oh, okay. Well, I might be okay with that, but that's massive again, isn't it? So I'm not in a rush to play it.
I never finished it. I got bored.
I bought it because it was cheap.
Yeah, no, I was tempted when it was cheap in the days of play. I was tempted to pick it up and go, maybe I'll give it another chance. Maybe I just wasn't in the right frame of mind. But I looked at it, well, you know what? I'm not going to have time. Because I'm playing The Last of Us 2. Literally, I'm talking to Maya earlier on today. I was like, I don't think my Xbox is going to get switched on at all this month. Because pretty much the second I finish The Last of Us 2, I think I'm going to want to go back and play it again. And then I've got until the 17th of July.
It's like 14 days.
Yeah.
Or something. I can remember.
Ghost of Tsushima comes out, which I've also pre-ordered, which is a massive PlayStation game. It looks huge. So that's going to take up the last 2 weeks of my month. I think apart from whatever we end up playing together for our co-op thing for the month is literally going to be the only time my Xbox gets switched on this month.
Yeah, I love the look of Ghost of Tsushima, but I've not pre-ordered it yet, just because I've got so much on the plate. I thought I'd just leave it for the time being.
Yeah, well, because I cleared my calendar for The Last of Us, and I knew there was a month obviously between Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, and I thought, you know what, I've pre-ordered it and got it for free with my game points. So if it turns up and sits on the shelf for a week, it doesn't bother me. I'm not fussed. I don't think there's going to be a massive story to spoil. So it's not like I need to jump into it quick so some cunt doesn't ruin the end of it like some cunt did for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, cunts everywhere.
A day after I loaded 3.5 hours into The Last of Us 2, went on Twitter, and there was the fucking ending right in front of me. You absolute wankers. Somehow on my fucking timeline, even though I'd muted everything for The Last of Us, there it was. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I'm even dodging sort of Sunny Legends gifts and stuff like that. I'm skipping through all of them. I don't want to see anything from either Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us 2. So,
see, I don't think Ghost of Tsushima is going to be a big deal spoiler-wise. I don't think it will be. It sounds stupid. I don't think it's the kind of game that is going to be rife for people to spoil. Whereas obviously everything that's surrounding The Last of Us, everybody wants to be the cunt that ruins it for somebody else. But I'm avoiding everything. Bless her, like Nikita asked me earlier on today. She's like, "Can we watch one of Paddy's videos?" I was like, "No." Only because he loves The Last of Us as much as I do, and even if cause he's currently replaying or playing through Outlast 2, and I really want to watch it. But I clicked onto his stream the other day, and someone mentioned The Last of Us. I went, "Nope, off," because I don't want accidental spoilers. So bless her, I said to Nick, "You have to wait till I finish my game. As soon as I finish it, we'll have like a week and a half's worth to catch up with."
Good call.
Yeah, so I'm avoiding, even though I do know the ending ish. I'm avoiding everything else because I want to enjoy the game.
That's just smart.
It's that one game this year that I want to spend time with and I want to do properly. So I'm going to have to repeat all of this when we get to what we've been playing. But anyways.
Well, I'm treating this as what you've been playing, so carry on talking about The Last of Us.
I mean, if you want me to continue talking about The Last of Us 2, I absolutely can.
Absolutely, go for it. Just finish off your train of thought.
It would be disingenuous of me to say that The Last of Us 2 is more of the same. Because it's really not. But at the same time, it kind of is. What I want out of The Last of Us 2 is a I want a continuation of the story from 1, and I want it to be trying to be as good as 1. So the thing you have to remember about The Last of Us 1, obviously like we were talking about how hard the opening hits you, and for me the ending hits me quite hard as well. So, but that's, The Last of Us is lightning in a bottle. You know, you can't do that with every game. It's impossible to have every game, you know, make you cry. It's impossible to have every game have you sat on the edge of your seat, absolutely terrified about talking to people and looking at monsters and trying to avoid both of these things while looking after a little girl who's intent on being a dick. You know, The Last of Us is unique in that respect. I personally think The Last of Us is a masterpiece. But when you've done that once, it's tough to force a game to do it again. And I think this is the only point in which The Last of Us really, it tries to live up to The Last of Us 1, but it can't, because nothing can. That said, I am wholly in love with every character in this game, even though you're probably not supposed to be. There is an interesting parallel thread that runs through the game, that when you get about, I think I'm about 2 or 3 hours away from seeing the credits, and when you get to where I am and everything has come to a head and it does feel like it's an ending, so I'm guessing this is going to go all fucking Return of the King and have 4 or 5 different endings before I actually get to the ending. It feels like you've been told, instead of being told 2 stories, which is kind of how it's been set up, you've actually accidentally on purpose been told 1 story just at the same time. It's impossible for me to elaborate on that without spoiling fucking everything. So suffice it to say, the story in The Last of Us 2 is phenomenal. It's gut-wrenching. Did either of you two see any of the leaks for The Last of Us 2?
News. Managed to skip them, mate.
Oh, good lads. So you're introduced, so gameplay-wise, you're introduced to 2 human factions instead of just the 1. So in the first faction you have just the Fireflies, don't you? In the first game, sorry, you have the Fireflies and,
And
you
the
have the
coppers.
And who, sorry?
The coppers.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Or the army, essentially.
Yeah. But you have these 2 big factions in The Last of Us 2 that you kind of find yourself in the middle of, which is an interesting dynamic because, well, previous to this, you know, Ellie's tried to, you know, keep away from this kind of contact. She's, you know, her and Joel are hiding out in an actual fucking town where people leave them alone. It's great. So you have your 2 factions after you have your infected. So a couple of weeks ago when I talked about Left Behind, I said there's a slight dynamic change in the combat because there's lots of parts where humans and infected share the screen. So you can actually, you don't have to do any combat at all. You just throw a bottle at the humans and the infected go get them for you and you can fucking sneak out the side. That dynamic continues into The Last of Us 2.
Awesome.
But it also does this thing in The Last of Us 1, when you play as Ellie, you've got your switchblade, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you don't have to make shivs when you play as her, which makes being stealthy so much fucking easier because you haven't got a resource that runs out to stealthily kill people.
I've always been curious about that, and even more so now that I've started it again. Like, I totally understand that a Molotov cocktail is a one-off resource, But
Yeah.
if you're making a shiv, why the fuck couldn't you use it more than once? Just pull it back out.
So, if I remember rightly, you can do an upgrade that means you can use each shiv twice,
Ye-
I believe.
Yeah,
Twice,
but
or is
some
it
of the
3 times?
sharp object picture that you use on the collectibles when
Yeah.
you're picking them up is a pair of scissors.
Yep.
Can you imagine a pair of scissors wouldn't break twice after stabbing someone with them?
I don't know. I've never.
Well, that's a
I've
pair
never
of
stabbed
scissors. You've already got 2 things to
Well,
stab with. if you
I've
just
managed
pull
to,
them apart.
I've managed to cut many a piece of paper without them breaking.
But well, sure, isn't the point that because the shivs are only one-time use on clickers?
I know they're one-time use on everything.
Oh yeah, they are.
Well, apart from when you get the upgrade, like you said. And
So-
it's the same with the melee weapon shiv as well.
Yeah.
They're bolted on. It's a one-use thing without
Yeah.
upgrade.
A bat with some scissors taped to
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, so there's no shiv creation in The Last of Us 2 because you play as Ellie, who carries a switchblade. So the problem is that then forces, or that's forced then Naughty Dog to come up with different environmental puzzles for you to get into buildings. So because every locked door in The Last of Us 1 can be unlocked with a shiv.
Yeah.
So so now there's a lot of environmental puzzles and figuring ways, and most of them are simple. It doesn't take more than 10 seconds to figure out what you got to do. It is permanently on my mind at the moment. Like, I don't want to be here talking to you guys. I want to be playing the game because I want to see it through. I want to finish it. It's one of those games that, at the moment, every spare second I've got The Last of Us 2 on because I'm desperate to see where it goes and what it does. I think it's done a splendid job of making you sympathetic towards the big bad in the game, who is a monstrous woman who is absolutely fucking terrifying.
Okay.
She's the chick from the gameplay we saw at E3 a couple of years ago.
I'm going to pretend I remember what that is.
I'm going to pretend that I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm going to ignore it and forget it.
I'm literally spoiling nothing.
I know.
But it makes you feel, she's your big bad of the game, and the game makes you feel sympathetic towards her very, very well, which is something I didn't really expect, because by the time I got to the end of The Last of Us 1, I didn't give 2 shits about the Fireflies. All I cared about was Joel and Ellie. And now I care about pretty much everybody involved from every side of this story. And I think it does a splendid job. I don't know what else to say. I desperately want to say a shitload more, but obviously I don't want to spoil anything for people trying to go into the game cold, including you two.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a game. So I've seen a lot of negative stuff towards the game from people who have gone, well, I watched a playthrough and it looked fucking awful. Well, it's not how the game.
It's not the same, is it?
It's not. So you can watch a walkthrough of Modern Warfare and get the gist of it. You can't do that with The Last of Us. You can't. It needs to be played. You need to be the person doing those QuickTime events. You need to be the person hiding from these enormous fucking monsters, and some of these monsters are mental. It needs to be played, and I genuinely think everybody should play it. The only I have seen a couple of negative review headlines for it. I've not read any of them, but gameplay-wise, I don't think it does enough to evolve the game. So the dodgy shooting is still there, the ham-fisted controls are still there, but it's all. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. There are some times when the janky shooting gets on my tits, but Yeah. So far, obviously I've not seen the credits yet, but so far for me, easily a 10 out of 10 game. Easily.
Ooh,
Cool.
And I can't
good
wait.
stuff.
I can't wait to, retire from work and actually have the time to play through the first and second one, like one after the other.
It's a bit more than just retiring from work, though, isn't it?
Well, I need. I've had 3 days off this week, so during the day while Nikita's been at school, I've been playing it, and while Maya's been at work. But it's not been whole days. I think last night I checked my time before I went to bed, and I was at 16 and a half hours, and I think I played it for another 6 hours today. So call that, 22 hours. I think I'm near the end, but I don't know. So if I need 30 hours to play it, I need, 12, 14 hours to play number 1, 3 to play Left Behind. I don't think this one's getting DLC. I think Naughty Dog have said there's no plans for DLC for this yet.
Yeah, but they always say no plans.
Yeah, I would like more, but I don't know if more can fit into the story until I get to the end. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind finding myself, 50 to 60 hours to sit through and just marathon 1 and 2 back to back. But I've more or less done that. I played 1 a couple of months ago and played Left Behind 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
But like, genuinely, I can't wait for you guys to play it, and I hope everybody gets out of it what I'm getting out of it so far, because I think it's fucking immense. And I'm sitting there on tenterhooks the whole way through, and it's scaring me. There's a couple of good scares in it.
I'm out.
One bit made me laugh. So yeah, I'm walking through a building, and this fucking infected thing just shimmies in front of a door that I didn't see it coming. I jumped. I'm like, fuck me. And about 6 seconds later, Ellie went, fuck me. I was like, Jesus Christ. Made me giggle. And she done it again then about an hour later as well, while I was sneaking through, shivving people in the neck. And I grabbed somebody and stealthily took him down. And he'd been annoying me for about 5 minutes. So as he went down, I went, motherfucker. And then as she was letting go of him and letting him hit the floor, she went, motherfucker. I was like, I like this chick. But yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea when I'm going to get a chance to play it, if I'm honest.
When I'm finished with Ghost of Tsushima, and you can borrow my PlayStation 4 and play through it, mate.
Yeah, we'll probably still be on some kind of lockdown by then.
Yep. But yeah, it is amazing, and I implore everybody that is just looking at reviews going, no, all the user reviews are shit, and paid reviews. No, it's awesome, and everybody should play it. There you go. That's my spoiler-free chat on The Last of Us.
Excellent.
Good stuff.
Lee, how
Hello.
can you continue on from this?
So I started to play Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. I think I mentioned that to you guys previously.
Is that the one with the time jumping in it?
Yes.
Yes.
And so I was playing through that, remembering what happened in the first game, and I just kept thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on? How has all this happened? How the fuck has everything got to this point? How has he had 2 kids and they're both dead, or some shit, or disappeared, or Alucard's turned up and pissed off, and then you think, what fucking hell is going on? And so I googled it, and it turns out that there was a game called Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate HD, which came out in between and was more based like the original rather than a 3D beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And it turns out I owned it as well, which was a bonus.
Nice.
So I put Castlevania 2 down and I played Mirror of Fate HD, which I finished a couple of days ago. So now I can kind of understand what happened in between the 2 games, which makes a lot more sense. Although the bonus ending that you get screwed everything back up again. So I hate that sort of shit. It really gets on my nerves when they do little bonus endings, but it doesn't quite tie into what happens afterwards. So like the main ending makes sense in terms of when you start the second game. But if you watch the bonus ending for getting 100% of all of the pickups, which I didn't, I watched it on YouTube because I couldn't be asked. Yeah. It just threw that out the window and changed it a little bit, and I was like, huh? So yeah, so now I've started The Last of Us Remastered again because obviously 2's out, and I've not played it since 2014, even a little bit. I don't think I've actually played the full game through since it was PS3 only. So it's been a long time. So I'm going through that. But in terms of finished, I finished a game called Warlocks 2 Godslayers on the Switch, and I picked that up for 89p, and it was pretty pants. It wasn't awful. It wasn't like horrendously bad. It was a Metroid platformer. It was more of just a platformer, really. But it is. I didn't realise it is actually a multiplayer. So you all just get in on it and start doing the platforming at the same time, and it just scales up the amount of enemies on the platform.
God, that sounds ludicrous.
Yeah, it was pretty ludicrous anyway. I didn't play with any of the other characters. I played with a witch that likes to take selfies of herself and stuns enemies using their camera phone.
Okay.
It was all a bit weird. I didn't get... The story was pretty gash for what it was. But it wasn't a bad little game for 89p, if I'm honest. What else? I've started South Park as well, to sit in between all of this massive pile of zombie games that I've got to play. Or zombie and / scary games that I've got to play. So I need something a bit light-hearted.
Yeah, that's why I have Maneater installed.
Yeah. I also picked up, you may remember, there was a game called Eagle Island, it was called. It was on the Res section when we went to EGX.
I don't remember that one.
It was a little guy that had an owl on his shoulder that he used as his weapon.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked that up because what I did, if you remember, I stuck all of the games that I liked from EGX onto my wish list.
Yeah.
Most of them were either available or becoming available at the time. I stuck them all on my wish list, and whenever you put anything on your wish list, if it goes on sale, you get an email.
Nice.
So it went on sale, so I picked that up. So I'll get to that at some point as well after South Park.
I'm a big fan of The Stick of Truth.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Still is a lot of fun. In fact, it's really good on the Switch as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks very fitting on the Switch screen.
Did you play the second one?
Of course, yeah. I didn't find it as funny as the first.
I didn't finish it in the end. I got annoyed at the bit where you're running away from the fat strippers.
Yeah. I think the first game was better.
Yeah.
In terms of writing. I think the second game was better in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
The first game was just a lot funnier, a lot crasser, a lot closer to the bone, obviously because they got so much cut out.
Yeah.
As well, which still were hilarious. The descriptions of the stuff that had been cut out was funny. The only thing I ever thought was a problem in the first game was just when you got to that last bit of the last boss where you were basically giving the boss an abortion.
Yeah.
The last boss. You'd never done one of those mini games before because they were all
they'd all been
in the
cut
stuff
out.
that was removed.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? Like, and it didn't give you the training for that mini game because you technically would have already had it at Randy's abortion.
Yeah.
So you missed it all. Whereas the second game wasn't quite as close to the bone. You know, there was no Nazi zombie babies or anything like that. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to going through it again anyway. It's a lot of fun. I've not found a lot of time to game actually recently. I've not had any time off work to get stuck into stuff, and so yeah, just really just one game on the list, which is Mirror of Fate, that I've finished. I think. Yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. It was a long-winded just one game, though.
Well, one game I've finished, but I've played plenty. or I am playing plenty.
Yeah.
As always.
Yes, you do like to spin a lot of plates at the same time.
I generally normally only spin 2. At most 3.
One big one and one Switch one.
That's pretty much how I do it, yeah.
So Brooker's spinning 2 plates. One is a ridiculously hardcore zombie plate, and the other one is a shark.
Yeah.
It's only because I started Castlevania 2 and then dropped off after about 8 hours and not really knowing what was going on to start another game. Otherwise, I may have finished another one. But, yeah.
But the thing with like Maneater, like as much as it's 18 rated and like violent, it's stupid.
Was it 18 rated?
It is 18 rated.
What?
It's pretty
Why?
bloody, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
But it's just a shark eating animals. It's perfectly normal.
And all the swearing from Scaly Pete is bleeped out.
Yeah.
But it's just stupid. So I can play Maneater when Nikita's around, but I can't play The Last of
Technically,
Us.
you can't.
But I can. She's just not allowed to play it. But I can't have her watching me play The Last of Us, mainly because I don't want her talking to me while the story's going on, but also because it's really fucking nasty in places, like really nasty. So
did you completely miss the Elder evolution as well?
Yeah.
So I went
teen
adult or kid teen adult, and then got stuck at adult until I'd done a particular mission.
Oh no! So so Elder clicked in at level 20. And
so
then,
you clicked up to Elder, did you?
I clicked up to her, but it doesn't register until you fight Scaly Pete for the first time.
Yeah.
So
see, I didn't click up to Elder. It stuck at adult for me until I'd done that Scaly Pete fight.
Yeah. That's what it did for me.
By that point, I was level 30. I was level 30.
Oh no, I was like level 28 or something by the time I got to Scaly Pete for the first time. So I still went to Elder, but then because I was basically what I didn't want to do was go around and start doing like story bits that take up time. So whenever I had like 20 minutes, I'd fast travel back to another spot and just collect collectibles.
Yeah.
I'd just play clean up. So obviously by the time I got to the third to last area, I was max level already. And at this point, there's only I think like sperm whales are the only things that actually cause me any hassle at this point.
I thought they were a piece of piss. Really, because they're easy to dodge. The orcas were a pain in the arse.
See, the orcas I have no issues with. None at all. I just whip the shit out of them.
It just depends on your setup, though, at the time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Largely.
But this is the thing.
The shadow set was fucking ace. The electric set was great at the start, but it was shit at the end.
Yes, the electric set was great when you were trying to do fish and shit that were leveled above you that you needed to beat to move the game on. But at this point, I'm going up to like the apex of each area and just whooping its ass and moving on.
Yeah.
I'm having no issues at all.
I think I ate one of the apexes in the first bite. I bit it straight off and killed it straight off. I think it was like one of the jack pike or whatever they call them in America.
Yeah.
Begin with an M, didn't it?
So I had a couple of those, but then I was telling you guys before we started the call, I got to the final boss and it was just being a dick. I couldn't fucking beat it, and I was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I want to go and play The Last of Us. It got turned off. It's going to be one of them stupid boss fights. I'll come back to it in a week and do it first time.
Yeah.
I
think I just kept jumping out and then slamming into it and landing on the boat and then just eating the boat and then jumping off again.
Yeah, see, I did that for the captains that come after you. When you level up your infamy, because the last two have that same stupid electric thing. And I just did the same. I hopped myself onto the boat with my, because I'm fully leveled. All of my bits are bone shark now. So
Neat.
just hit my active and just beat the shit out of it. But it wasn't letting me do that with Scaly Pete. I couldn't get on. It's just me being tired or something. I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll come back later. It'll be fine. But, it is fun though. I'm really enjoying it. I think if I'd have spent more than 25 quid on it, I probably would have felt a bit ripped off.
Well, yes. But you kind of knew what you were getting into when you bought a game that was,
Yeah.
a shark.
Yeah. I knew exactly what I was getting into. It's a Deep Silver published game that's labelled a Shark PG, and I've seen enough gameplay to know exactly what I was getting into. But that's all I wanted. It's one of those perfect palate cleanser games. And when I get to the end of The Last of Us, I'm going to need something like that so that I don't funk and end up not wanting to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I need to play Maneater at some point.
Again, borrow my copy, mate.
Yeah, I will certainly take you up on that about some point in the future.
I'll just sneak into work and drop it on your desk when no one's looking.
Yeah, that'd be great. So that kind of just leaves me.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Cool. So I've played 2 games because I took Lee's advice where I stopped doing the fucking challenges on everything.
You've been playing Plumbing Simulator, haven't you?
No, actually. I've not touched any
Thermostat. I've seen a good GIF the other day. Someone had put the perfect game for dads doesn't exist, and then it had got a picture of a thermostat simulator, and I just thought of you. Even though you're not a dad, I thought you'd love a thermostat simulator.
That would be interesting. Combined with the fact that the Steam Summer Sale is currently active, my list of Steam games has gone up ridiculously. I now own Battlefield 4 on PC.
Nice.
But aside from that, I have played Minecraft Dungeons, which is surprisingly fun just because of what it is. It's like a dungeon crawling, obviously, as it's Minecraft Dungeons. Diablo style, literally you just walk around as a Minecraft character and just start wailing on everything. There's like big mobs of enemies. It's not scary in the slightest. The story is pretty loose. There's only about 10 actual missions, but there's 3 difficulties. So you finish the story on the story difficulty, then you get the adventure difficulty. But all you have to do is beat the final boss on adventure difficulty to unlock apocalypse difficulty, which is ridiculously hard to do if you're playing with people who are fresh to the game, including yourself. But if you're playing with people who just play around on apocalypse difficulty anyway, because they've basically finished the game, it instantly gives you the opportunity to play straight on the hardest difficulty. And then XP shared, so you don't need to take part in any combat in order to rank up, get your XP up. So you can almost instantly get yourself ready to play endgame content in like less than... I think I started playing at like 1 in the afternoon and was already at a decent power level that I was taking on Apocalypse level and the Apocalypse higher rank stuff within 6 hours. So, yeah.
Sometimes I like that feature, and sometimes I don't.
So if you're just doing it to play for fun, then it's great to have
definitely
the ability to just like be able to hit the hard stuff straight away and be caught up to your friends almost instantly. And then it is just grinding for RNG based loot at that point.
Oh, well, that's out the window for me at that point.
So not only is it RNG based loot that you find on the floor, but it's also the stores that are in the camp are RNG based as well. So you go up to the store, you pay the however many hundred emeralds it is that you pick up, and then they will give you a random item
Oh
or
no.
Fuck
or a
off.
random weapon or a random piece of armor. And
Absolutely not.
it's combine that with then like the various things that you can put together. It's typical to any standard. I'm going to say it's a MOBA, it's a battle arena type game. Any standard thing of like as you level up, it's just whatever gives you more power than whatever the item is before, and then it's not until like the end game when you kind of go, well, hang on a sec, I like this type of thing. So, yeah, I'm currently running a soul damage kit. So my crossbow has like does a lot of soul damage, but I need to have weapons that pick up souls in order to do it. So that's kind of the general thing of how everything works. It's fun, and I've enjoyed playing it. I don't know how much more I'm going to play of it. It doesn't have a working cross-play or cross-save at the moment.
Well, that's not helpful.
No. So
Not for a game like Minecraft, anyway.
Yeah, so
For a Microsoft Studios game.
Well, yeah. So I started playing it on the Xbox, and you can see you've got friends playing if they're playing it on PC, but you can't join them. There was a glitch where it would work and you could join them, but that's since been patched out. So it's not like it's not possible to do it. You just don't have it enabled at the moment for whatever reason. And after starting on the Xbox, I then migrated to play on the PC with the guys that I was playing with, and I didn't have my character with me, so I lost at the time what felt like a lot, but it was 3 missions and like 15 levels, which was pretty quick to get back again when I was playing with people of stupidly high ranks. It locks missions, so each of the 3 story difficulties comes with 10 difficulty levels to choose from, and it locks you out of ones that make it either A, too easy or B, too difficult, because it basically splits the power level between. So it's your personal power level and the team's power level. And the team's power level is an average of the people who are in it. So if it's the 3 of you, and you've got 2 at power level 98 and 1 at power level of 60, then it'll do the average, which is around, I want to say 70 something, possibly 80. Maths isn't with me right now.
Fair enough.
But if one of the 2 high levels drops out, then your team average drops down, obviously, because there's less people to pick from.
Didn't Division do something similar to that?
So I think the Division 2, because I can't remember the Division 1, is that it grabs the power level of whoever's the highest and then raises everyone up to their level.
Right.
But Minecraft Dungeons has its first update, which I believe is completely free, and is just basically some more missions. So there's extra stuff to do now. Don't know whether or not I'll go back to playing it. It was a good fun thing to do for the 6 hours that I was playing it on a Saturday afternoon.
What is the microtransaction side like? Is that all cosmetic, is it, I presume?
I don't think there's any cosmetics, and I don't think there's any microtransactions that I could see.
Oh, they'll definitely come, though. Because the original one has loads, doesn't it? Doesn't it have
Yeah.
outfits?
Maybe. I know that you pick what your character's supposed to look like at the start. I don't think there's any change onto that. Your outfit changes depending on what armor you wear, which again is RNG based armor, so it's whatever.
Yeah, right.
And they all of the same equivalent type look the same. So all of the ones that have got weird wizard hats are all purple wizard hats with cloaks, and the wolf armor looks like you're wearing a wolf's coat.
Yeah, it'd be more entertaining for people that play Minecraft, not myself included, on that. In that they did the sort of DLC thing. Do you remember what Little Big Planet did? Whereas all of their DLC, or at least a majority of their DLC items, worked on all of the games.
Yeah.
So the outfits, and they worked on the kart game as well, if I remember rightly.
I think some of it did, yeah.
So that was really cool, and I liked that feature. And there's not a lot of that, even sequel to sequel, you'd think. Oh, why can't I keep that outfit that I purchased on the previous game? That would be really cool.
It was good because it meant you didn't feel ripped off by spending, even though they're like 50p a outfit or something, or £2 a outfit or whatever. You didn't feel ripped off because you'd lost access to all of them.
Mm.
Yeah, more games should definitely have something like that. But Minecraft Dungeons, I've never played Minecraft, so I can't say that I do like it or do not like it. But I've enjoyed what I've played of Dungeons. It is, if it wasn't for the fact that the Minecraft name's on it, and it's clearly Minecraft graphics, it could be almost any game. Just like, it was a bit like when Halo Spartan Assault came around. So
Yeah, Spartan Assault, yeah.
that could have been almost any game and almost any skin on it. It just happened to be Halo branded. Same as when Gears Tactics becomes an actual thing on Morden. I think it's still in beta. I don't know. I don't have it installed anymore because I couldn't be bothered with my Xbox Game Pass, whatever it was. But yeah, it's just another XCOM game.
I was going to say it was Gears Tactics, the XCOM one.
Yeah,
because that sounds right up my street.
yeah, Gears of War style XCOM turn-based strategy game. Yeah,
as long as it's done well.
Literally any skin on it would work, but they just put the Gears one onto it. Did you ever get around to playing Gears Pop? I can't remember if you did.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the tower defense / just advance up the screen game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. It was fun for the hour and a half I played it, and I've not played it since. I've got an achievement for it on my Xbox, I think.
Nice.
But yeah, that's as far as I got with it. I didn't do much.
And the other game I've played, I finished the story campaign, whatever you want to call it, for The Division 2. Which, as we agreed with The Division, is that it's just a brown mess of not story whatsoever. It
should have been better.
It still felt the same right the way through it, getting to the end. It's just brown mess of exposition, story-wise, cover shooter.
Both.
And
sorry, I thought you'd finished.
And after finishing the story and finding out that once you get to the end, you get access to your specialization weapon, which I chose a crossbow. I could have had a grenade launcher or a sniper rifle, and then have the option to unlock a flamethrower, a minigun, and or a rocket launcher. There's like a 4-rocket missile launcher.
Oh, nice! Like the one in Commando.
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. Option that to unlock those 3, or you can pay to have them instantly unlocked or whatever. Because
of course you
Ubisoft.
can.
Same as you can now pay to get straight up to rank 30, so you can go straight into playing the New York DLC. Because I don't think buying the New York DLC gives you rank 30 straight away.
Jeez, what is so? For 1 year, Ubisoft done well with Origins. They released DLC that required a minimum level to play, and they allowed you to just re-level your game save, so you could go on and play it, which I think is amazing. I do not understand why this is not a thing all the time.
So I think it might be that it's included if you buy the Warlord DLC, but
Yeah.
I've not bought it, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's possible it's in it. Someone would possibly need to confirm, but whether or not anyone who listens to us would know the answer to that. I can always look it up at some point in the future and just check, but I'm already level 30, so it doesn't matter. But you can pay... It's like, I want to say like £6, possibly, to get rank 30. And considering you can buy the game for like £6.
Bollocks, ain't it?
Yeah.
I remember saying this when we were playing Division 2 together. I was like, the first one's exactly the same. The stories in Division 1 and 2 are actually quite cool, but you don't see any of them because it's built for you to play with 2 or 3 other people. And when you're doing that and you're all talking over the mic, and you can't deliver story that way.
No.
It's impossible to deliver story to 3 guys sitting there talking about work while they're shooting people. You can't do it. So you don't see any of the story, and it is, the story behind The Division is actually pretty cool. It's because I've read one of the novelizations. There was a book that I set like between 1 and 2. I was asked if I'd like to read it, to review it, and I will never ever review another video game book again. Because it was so fucking terribly written. But the actual story is, and the underlying story to The Division I quite like. But yeah, these games for me, co-op as an option, great. Should be a single player game so I can enjoy the story. But that's just me.
Yeah. I mean,
even just like forcing the story to be part of the game would have been fine too, because there are games out there that do that, and they do it reasonably. I mean, Destiny managed it despite the story being shit and all over the fucking place. It still forced the story, even though you were playing multiplayer.
Yeah.
It didn't give you an arse load of story in little bits of text, and just Division to me just felt like one big fetch quest.
Yes.
It was like, go here, do this, go here, do this, go here, do this, with nothing in between. You could pick up on little things, bits and bobs, but obviously, while we were trying to watch an Echo recording or something, John's gone off and fucking got in a fight with a group of people. So all you can hear is gunfire.
Well, I mean, Destiny's main advantage was the fact that it had enforced cutscenes, even if you were a silent protagonist during the cutscene. But that's how it felt, was that, oh yeah, you've reached this point, here's the cutscene. In The Division 2, you would go into a room because it would say, oh yeah, you need to talk to this person at one of the settlements. One of you walks in there, they get the cutscene. Anyway, whoever's not walked in there isn't getting the cutscene until they then choose to walk in there.
Which is just a massive fucking ball ache and a complete waste of time.
Yeah. But it was always quite
found it boring.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the first one. I didn't like the end game stuff. I didn't mind the first game. No. And I liked the premise behind it. And I loved the fact that they spread the disease on money. I thought that was very clever.
Yeah.
But
on Black Friday.
Yeah, exactly. 2 just felt like more of the same, and they hadn't really done anything with it.
Yeah, so my knowledge of the story to 2 is that this is how long it's taken for me to learn it, is that it's set 7 months after the events of the New York game. And I randomly found an Echo recording, I think, where it said that the reason why that it's given a new name virus-wise is because they found a cure which made it worse. And
that's not a cure.
No,
it's not how cures work.
I'm trying to think, there's a couple of other games that have done similar things, or a couple of films where the premise is that, oh yeah, we found a cure to a disease. Turns out it turned everyone into fucking flesh-eating zombies or something.
Nice.
No, it was so there was a random recording where it was I think it was a military general who was just ordering someone to push out a cure because it had done well in base testing, but it wasn't ready to go into full production, and he literally just overruled and said, look, put it out there, it's going to work, and then by the time next week comes along, you'll be picking up a fat bonus, and I'll be telling you I told you so. What's the worst that could happen? Lo and behold, they made the virus worse and more aggressive.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
still disappointed that there wasn't any sort of zombie-esque things in it.
Yeah.
You still kept expecting them to turn up, but all it did was kill people.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like COVID-19. That's just killing everyone. No zombies.
Hey, we've only just started the second half of the year, man. Zombies are still on the table.
So I don't know. What's next? Asteroid or aliens?
Well, I'm in lockdown. I'm not in lockdown, but I am in part of the country just slightly, just slightly out of the lockdown. It is highly likely that I'm going to see some sort of zombie action this weekend, even if it is just that they're extremely fucking drunk and they can't get home to Leicester.
Oh, that's going to be fucking brilliant. The number of people from Leicester are going to cross over to Hinckley, get smashed, and then can't get home again.
Yeah, it's should be an exciting week.
I mean, I don't suppose they can do World War Z Israel style. Let's build a wall around Leicester so they can't get out.
No, probably do it at Southampton.
They should probably just put a wall around Leicester in general so they can't get out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, I finished the main story of the Division 2. What I was rewarded with, apart from getting a new custom specialization, was the Black Tusk, who are like a PMC, have infiltrated DC and are now the new enemy that I need to kill in all of those missions again. So it's redoing pretty much all of the main missions and strongholds, but with new enemy types, including they've got weird robot dogs
What?
with guns on them.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm trying to think, but you know the like bomb disposal robots that have got like 4 legs.
yeah.
They're literally those, but they've got like machine guns.
The Boston University, what dog is it? You know, the little yellow 4-legged thing.
Yeah.
They sell for about 50 grand a piece.
Yes.
And these people have just got them with guns tapped on them.
Yep. Well, I mean, it is set in
It's
a kind
legit.
of like weird futuristic thing where you've got drones.
I thought it was set
that can-
kind of in the modern day, though, wasn't it? And
Yeah, it's kind of like
time wise.
Yeah, it's set in a weird parallel universe where you've got drones that can heal people and supply them with armor, or put up weird little ray shields so that you can't get shot at.
To be fair, you've got drones that could heal people now. Just drop a box of plasters on you or something.
Yeah.
Some fucking Amazon
look,
drone
technic-
launching a
yeah.
box of Elastoplast at you ain't quite the same
That's how you
thing.
do it. Basically, that's the trade-off, mate. You'll be there shooting the Fireflies or whoever these other bad guys are in Division, and you'll you'll have to order your thing from Amazon to be dropped off, and you're sitting there for an hour and a half waiting for it to be delivered.
Mate, have you seen the robots we got in Milton Keynes?
Oh
No.
my god, yes. I saw one outside the co-op in Bletchley as I was driving past
They're awesome.
earlier.
So
And it had broken down.
they're completely self-controlled. You stick your shit in it and they drive around Milton Keynes. But the problem is, I watched one the other day. It took 10 minutes to get across the road because it didn't know whether or not it could go. These fucking drones that are waiting to heal me but need to get across the road. Nah, I'll just die.
You got
I've
those
seen-
battery-powered drone things, and I didn't realise that actually. I thought they were always just a joke or someone's put up. I didn't realise you'd actually got them.
No, they're
Yeah, we've
fucking
got little-
everywhere.
little robot tank things, basically. I saw one, it was upside down.
Like a turtle.
Yeah.
Don't people fuck with them though? That's what you kind of
Uh,
expect. it
I've
to
not seen
happen.
anybody fucking with one yet. I don't know.
Apart from
Yeah.
that one that John turned upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite
The
likely
one that I
that
turned upside down.
I'll
yeah.
walk the dog later on this evening and see someone trying to rape one. It's almost guaranteed at some point I'll see it.
Well,
What, the drone or your dog?
I'm pretty sure if you search for it on the internet, it's already happened.
It probably
Yeah,
has.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apart from the one that I apparently turned upside down, no, I've not seen any that have been in any kind of real distress. I've seen like reports. They occasionally publish reports out the company that runs them to say that we've seen an increase in people trying to steal stuff out of them, but you can't.
No.
Well, I suppose you probably could if you put enough time and effort into it, but they know when they're
But the poor
Being
thing runs
fucked.
away.
yeah, they know when they're being fucked with, and they put an alarm out which contacts like a private security team or something.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. I might try it, see what happens.
What a bizarre little setup, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's so
they,
cool. But
yeah, they know when they're upside down because it's like if you see one upside down, you just wait like 10 minutes and someone will turn up and just turn it back over again and then drive off again.
they're really clever though. So the first time I realised because they've been up by the school I used to work, me and John used to work at. They've been testing them up there for a couple of years. But like the last, I don't know, 6 months, they've been rolling them out across Milton Keynes. And we were about a month into the lockdown, and we were sitting out at front talking to next door neighbours, and one just appeared on the street and seemed really confused about, because it couldn't quite figure out how to get around my car, which was parked half on the path. But of course, in Milton Keynes, on the new estates in Milton Keynes, all the paths and the roads are the same level. So the poor thing's got no fucking idea what it's supposed to do, and ended up driving around my car in the middle of the road. And it parked up next door, And next door neighbour came out, did a little thing with his phone, it popped open, he took his food out of it, and it fucked off. And got confused by my car on the way out as well.
Yep.
They're super
Weird.
cool.
Weird. I don't think they'll come to Hinkley, mate. Too many spastics.
Well,
And people
say
that just like to cause trouble and injure things.
apparently we in the past have been trusted with that Boris Bike scheme, but it's in Milton Keynes everywhere except Bletchley.
Wow.
There's like a weird Bletchley shaped circle, where it's that they're not in.
But
because
what
nearest
is in
one I
that
can
Bletchley
get-
shaped circle is a big pile of Boris bikes that haven't been returned.
Yeah, I think I've actually seen one just sort of like sitting there in Bletchley at one point, just like because you can leave them and
Yeah.
go back to it later on. But yeah, there's the nearest one to me is I have to walk over the Standing Way to Thurston and get one. By then, I've probably walked further than I was willing to cycle the bike in the first place.
If I just walk down to Bletchley into Halfords and get a bike.
Yep.
I've used them things a couple of times when I've been like on when I've gone city trips and stuff.
You're drunk and need to get home. Had to leave the car
Oh,
behind.
well, there's been a few actually. So when we went to Bristol, Bristol Air Balloon Festival, I wanted to go up to the big bridge to watch the air balloons in the morning take off, so I could get some good pictures.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking trek, and I looked at this bike stand across the way from the hotel, and they had them for free. And I checked it out on Google, and basically you got £10 worth of credit for free,
Yeah.
and you just pick up the bike from wherever you are and drop it off at one of the particular stands, and that's all you need to do. So I got the bike for free, although in hindsight it was a long way up that fucking hill, and I probably should have got a taxi. I did make it in time to get some cracking pictures, but
Well,
it was very sweaty.
a
I
bike was
very
probably
sweaty.
better than walking.
True. And I rode the wrong way too down the
Would
river.
you try and go up
fucking
backwards?
State. I just my GPS got all pissed off and threw me out the wrong way and took me to the wrong bridge. Took me to like an old Victorian footway crossing instead of the old Victorian big up in the hills bridge, basically.
Nice.
So yeah, I've used them a couple of times and I can see the appeal, but I mean Milton Keynes, probably not so much.
Oh,
I think it's because of the Redways thing. That's
Yeah.
why we've got them. But
I
no
mean-
one fucking cycles on the Redways.
you can get fucking anywhere in Milton Keynes without actually touching a main road if you use the Redways. It's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So, but no, hardly anyone bikes on them.
So we're not too far away from a division world where we can call Amazon drones in to drop a box of plasters on our heads. Or more than likely, it's going to be a bottle of fucking alcohol.
You just smash a bottle of TCP over your head. You'll be fine.
TCP and some chilled cotton wipes.
Yeah.
Apart from that, no one really uses cash anymore. I bet I've not even seen blooming tenner for any. I can't remember the last time I had any money in my wallet.
Well, we were talking
No
about
fucker
this the other
accepts it
day.
anymore.
So just as this was starting, I was like, right, I need to take a bit of cash out and have some in my wallet just in case. And that fucking big bill came out. I had no money on my bank card. I was like, oh shit. So I went to get breakfast one. I was like, I've only got cash, and now they're not taking cash. What the fuck? But since then, yeah, I don't have any cash in my pocket. I don't know what the cash pocket in my wallet's going to be used for ever again.
No.
Bless, it was really sad as well because Nikita's got like a big money box, and I always put like my spare change in there for her. So she has anything like 50p and below just goes in there. I don't want it, but I haven't fucking had any cash. I haven't had any use for it. So she's getting like no money in her money box from
Yeah.
me.
Arthur used to put stuff in his piggy bank. I used to give him pound coins for his piggy bank. He ain't had jack for about 300 days.
But bless her, she's trying to save a bit of cash because we booked a holiday for next year. So she wants to save a little bit of money, so she's got some spending money. I'm like, that's great, but I haven't got any cash. So actually, I'm going to have to make a point of going to the cash machine, taking out money, and putting it into her piggy bank for her. Which means every time I'm giving her a minimum of fucking tenner.
Bastard. That's how they got you.
You need
That
to
is
go
how they
to
get, mate.
one of the Tesco branded cash points that give out fivers.
The ones that like the shit areas like Wolverton and Bletchley, where everyone only wants a fiver because that's all they've got. All they've got left out of their gyro.
Yeah, and then walk in there, buy like a pack of chewing gum, and then go to the self-service till because they can't do cash at the regular tills.
Yeah.
So that way you get loads of change, and there you go. You've got loads of change to put in Nikita's money box for a couple of days. Because everyone knows those self-service tills don't give out good coins.
No. To
So
be
it's
fair,
like no 50p's. You get like 3 10s and 5s.
to be fair, I don't mind taking tenner out and sticking it in there. It's not like I'm going to do it every other day because I can't bloody afford to. But yeah, bless her, because she had money boxes like dotted about all over the shop, and we keep putting money in random boxes. And all these ones that are like solid, you can't take the top off them. You have to break them open.
Hang on, I'm just making a note of all of these. Just in case. Yeah, okay, carry on.
So we broke one of them open, or we broke them all open, and we kept like one. So I don't know how much was in the one that we kept, but we broke all these other ones. So about 80 quid's worth of just pennies.
Yeah.
Gone into this one bill. Oh, fucking hell, we got a year till we go on holiday. How fucking much are you planning on taking?
Mate, those pennies, right? When it's like for little kids, and it's like money boxes they can't fucking open.
Yeah.
It's like that. You'd be surprised how quickly that shit gets ramped up. Because they just find coins.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's basically how it gets. And again, like because I don't like carrying change in my wallet, so I get home and any change just goes, unless it's like pound coins because I use them. But anything lower than that just goes straight into a money box. But I say I haven't been using cash, so I was like, I thought this is going to be a bit shit. There's going to be nothing in it. So she's got more money than I have at the moment, bless her.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
use
used to do
cash
it
so
so,
rarely that I can't actually buy the trolleys at Tesco's for £1.
Lols. We used to do it so that I could take Arthur down to the local toy shop so that he could just buy stuff out of his pocket money.
Yeah.
But if the local toy shop's closing now as well because COVID, thank you very much.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have to take him pound stretcher, I guess, for a toy.
So we do that on occasion, and the other one, like when we walk around, she's like, "Could we get a magazine?" I'm like, well, yeah, but you don't fucking do anything with it. I don't mind spending a couple of quid on it, but you literally sit there, you read it once, and then it just gets under my feet for the next 2 months before someone decides it's time to throw the fucking thing away. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hit people with them.
Yeah. How did we get here? How did we get into this
I
conversation?
don't know. We
'Cause
can
we're talking
segue
about
off that one onto Computer Games Magazine. When was the last time you bought a games magazine?
When was the last time I saw a games magazine?
Fucking, I don't know. I always used to buy them because they always had amazing demos on.
Yeah.
PS2. Do you remember the demos? They were fucking
demo
brilliant.
discs.
That's probably the last time I bought a games magazine was when I had a PS2 because demo discs.
I know Game Informer still print though, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with magazines is like any printed media, especially monthly magazines, is that the content is so out of date by the time it comes around.
Yeah.
Like imagine a gaming magazine that had come out in the last month. It was like, and then Cyberpunk gets fucking delayed because well, it wasn't that far long ago where it would have been out by now.
Yeah, so that's the thing now, isn't it? You know, 24-hour news cycles and shit, and everybody gets all the information off Twitter and Facebook and whatever the fuck. By the time a magazine gets to you, it's pointless. And who wants to pay £6
I kind of
for
missed that a
out-of-date
little bit as
information?
well in a way. Because I would, when I bought a magazine, I would read every article.
Yep.
I don't read every article. In fact, I'd be very surprised if I do more than skim any article now.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I will read, unless it's really engrossing. I won't read the whole one. I'll just read the first couple of paragraphs, get the gist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most magazines, most articles in video games can usually be summed down to the 140 Twitter characters or 200 Twitter characters
Yeah,
that it is now. It is literally that you could summarize it down, an article down into that, get the gist of it, and then that's it. You just decide whether or not to read the rest of the article based on that. So if I saw a Twitter post that literally just said Cyberpunk delayed till November, I don't need to read the rest of the article to find out the reason to why it is, even if they don't give it. Even if they say that the reason's just down to they've now got 7,000 types of pubic hair. So
Do you think there's that many?
Oddly
Maybe.
specific.
7,000 strands of pubic hair per character if you choose to.
Wow. Apparently it's set in
To
the
go
70s.
with their magnum dongs.
But I used to read, big articles and interviews and exposés and things in games and film magazines, but they're not worth going out of my way to, find. That's the other question. When's the last time you went looking at magazines in a newsagent or Tesco's, or when's the last time you went looking for a games magazine? Because I can't remember the last time I even thought, you know what, I need a Total Film and a Games Master. I
don't
don't
remember the last time I walked
occasionally
down
buy
that aisle in Tesco.
Viz.
You buy Viz.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
but it's not every time it comes out. I can tell you that much.
No.
Yeah, I think my local Tesco hides the magazine and newspaper section in a different area because of the COVID stuff. So it's like the grab and go section.
Yeah.
So it's literally, here's the magazines, the newspapers, the sandwiches and cans of Monster.
Nice.
And then everything, the rest of the shop. It's just the rest of the shop. So it's kind of, I don't tend to see any of that stuff, so I wouldn't know about any magazine stuff.
No.
It doesn't help that if you even think about like articles online as well, there's the other annoying thing, which is that every article is 10 fucking pages of slideshows so they can get 10 sets of adverts revenue.
Yeah. See, that's the, so I had a digital subscription for a little while to Empire, which was great because it used to just be delivered direct to my iPad and then I'd read it. But even then, I'm like, no, it can't be arsed. And it's costing me 40 quid a year. Not worth it. Just not worth it. Or you go the extremes. So have either of you guys heard of Fangoria?
No.
I have heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
It's a horror magazine. And
That makes sense.
Back in the day, used to be the horror magazine. Went under, and it came back, I think, last year. And now they're doing like these big, like tabletop style or tabletop size magazines once a quarter. But a fucking year's subscription's like 100 quid. What? I'm fucking paying £25 a magazine? Fuck off. Absolutely
That's
not.
extortion.
Well, the thing is that apparently it is worth it, and you will be reading this thing for 3 months, but I can't justify it. And they do put a fair amount of effort in. One of my favourite authors had like a follow-up to one of his books as a short story inside one of the issues, and I was like, I kind of want to buy it just for that because it's a fucking great book, but I'm still not paying 25 quid. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I've not bought anything specific for a while, if I'm absolutely honest. And I ought to start reading again. I like reading.
The next book I want to read comes out, I think, next week. So, and I've got it pre-ordered on Audible and Kindle and physical copy, so there is no way on earth I'm without that book. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool.
Well, good to end on that, I think.
Yeah. See us off then, so I can get off and go play The Last of Us 2.
So you can do what now? All right, so that is us done. You've managed to get a good episode out of us, despite the fact nothing's happened in the last God knows how long.
I was worried about halfway through that when I looked at my timer and said, well, we started at 10 minutes and it's currently only showing at 55. I was like, fuck. Am I really going to put out a 45-minute episode?
No, we managed to get a fair amount.
We dragged it out with some bullshit as usual.
As we always do.
It was a good thing we managed to save the bullshit that we normally record before the episode when we decided to start talking about video games magazines.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The trick is to put a few mentions at the end as well. So just to force my friends into listening to the podcast so they can get their mention. And because we're getting to the end, if you wouldn't mind me just allowing me to have a quick moment.
Well, that's kind of why we offer you plugs.
Cool. Phil, you're a prick.
Nice.
80, 80, you're a prick. Steve, I know you're not going to get this far. You're a prick. Alex, you're a prick. That'll do for now.
Cool.
Worst
Lee, you're a
maybe
prick.
more next
speech
week.
ever.
John, Brooker,
yeah.
you pricks.
Outstanding.
Never ever have I denied this.
No. Apart from your prick plug, Lee, where can people find you?
I'm Pyro Loveridge, pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere that matters. Brooks,
Yes, mate.
what about you?
I am
Where?
Brooker411 on Twitter, and my other horror podcast is at Mild Threat Pod, which had a second episode go up. Finally.
Yes.
Oh, lads, the fucking hell we went through trying to get a second episode done. And I got
remember.
bollocked by the podcast network owner as well because I put copyrighted music into it.
Oops.
Wow.
Wow. Well, it was hilarious because he said the first, it wasn't us that did it, but somebody said, somebody put some copyright stuff in it, and he went, can people in their metadata make sure that they credit any copyright stuff? So I credited all the copyright stuff I put in. So there's the music that I made the intros and outro from, the Halloween theme tune, and a bit of music from Scream. All got credited in my metadata, and then I got a message going, please don't put copyright. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Yeah.
Why tell me to do something and then...
I don't know. But yeah, so, and actually we're already planning our next episode, so the turnaround on that one might be a bit quicker than the last one, which took us nearly 2 months because things kept going wrong.
Excellent. So I am the John_CU on Twitter, and on Xbox Live I'm Long Dong Silver. But if you're not interested in us as the individuals that we are, and you only care about us as the assimilated combination that is the Character Unlock team, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Character Unlock, or continue listening to our podcast via your chosen podcast channel. Is that us? Everything done and dusted, you think?
Think so?
Cool. So that just leaves us with saying goodbye. So guys, say goodbyes.
Goodbyes.
You goodbyes.
Excellent. Bye everyone.
Dickhead.
Who?
All
Both of you.
Especially Lee.
Penis.
Okay, so welcome to episode 96 of the Character Unlock Lee's a Cunt podcast.
Oh my god, a mouthful of drink, dude.
Oh, not out of the bag.